What a disaster. I need to get some work done for a video, but shit. All right, give me a second. We're gonna clean up. Ugh. Boom, nice and clean. All right. Oh shit, let's not drop that. We got parts. We don't have a gun yet. Hold on, let me go get a gun. Boom, we got a gun now too. All right, so what we have here, let me make sure you guys are in focus. Oh yeah, you can see it just fine. This is a Ruger American in 6.5 Creedmoor, which is a really awesome round. Fortunately, this isn't mine. I'm just helping out, kind of put this thing together. But check it out, plain Jane. It's got a pretty nice primary arms, 4-14 on top with a Aero Precision mount. But man, look at that. Look at that cheek well. This is like super high. This is like more than a chin weld. You would have to be like hovering in space to try to get your eye through there. So what we're gonna do to fix that, let's put this aside real quick. Oh, right over there. Let's go in this and show you what we got. We got some cool stuff to work on. All right, first off is MDT stock. This is the skeleton carbine stock, product of Canada. Who knew? But this is really nice. This is all like super high-end aluminum dopeness. It's probably really expensive. Check. Oh, I got a text. Check that out. Cheek riser to fix the problem with the height of the optic. You can adjust the length of pull. Like, this thing is super sweet. So that's going on. What else we got? What else we got? Well, you know, you can't put that on without their super dope chassis system. So we also got that in. Out you come. This is the MDT, and I think this is with Brownells. I guess they did it with a thing from Brownells. Yeah, so Brownells helped develop this or something. You can see, look at that, Brownells logo. Oh, it's really dark. Hold on, there you go, Brownells logo. Check that out. We're gonna have to put that on. And by the way, I don't know how to do any of this, so we're gonna flounder together, you and I. It's gonna be real painful for everybody, but you're gonna enjoy it to laugh at me. Oh, big upgrade. Oh, big upgrade. We got a Timney trigger, so that's pretty dope. And then the really nice upgrade is you go from a 5-round box mag to 20-round drum mags. 20-round detachable box mags. Excuse me, so that's really cool. All right. And then we also have this. I'd like to tell you I knew what this came out of, like which box this came out of, but yeah, I have no idea. It was just floating loose in here. So yeah, eventually we're gonna figure out what this goes to. Take your bets on where this is supposed to go. Put it down in the comments. We'll figure it out. All right, let's get this crap going. All right, you guys need to get a little closer so you can see what I'm working on. So let's readjust this camera. We'll see what we got. All right, I moved you guys up a little bit so you can see my disgusting workbench. Let's pull all this stuff out onto the disgusting workbench. Throw some shit over there. There's some more shit over there. We got some parts. We got that doped thing. This is M-LOK, by the way, which is really cool. I personally really like M-LOK. Got a nice MTD sticker. We'll put that up on the safe. And there's your instruction manual from Brownells. MTD BRN1 M-LOK chassis. You guys know me. I'm a real man. So see, we're not gonna read that because we're men. We're men. We don't read that shit. We're gonna get rid of that. Thanks Brownells for the safety in general. Don't point at your face and pull the trigger. That's what that says. So we'll get rid of that too. So this is the bag of parts for the chassis. Here is, this obviously is gonna mount into the back like so. And what's really cool actually, it looks like you could use this as a regular stock on an AR-15 since it has a, what looks to be regular buffer tube and thread. So if you're running some sort of precision gun, I'm guessing this would run like any other stock, which is pretty dope. Like, this thing is sweet, look at that. I think the pull, cheek riser, oh, it goes one way or the other, I'll figure it out. So let's get started taking apart this bad boy, which hopefully isn't too difficult. We're gonna take this off first, but I don't think I have the hex bit out here, so let me go get the hex bit. I'll be right back. All right, so first thing we're gonna do, like I said, we're gonna take this off. That looks like it's right past, if you can see, it's right past the first pick rail notch. So try to remember where it is. You can mark it, but I'm not gonna do that because I don't care. This will just make it a little bit easier to work around the gun where you won't have this big dangus hanging off the edge. There we go. Put that aside. Put all this aside. All right. Next up, what we need to do is remove the action from the stock. And as you can see here, we have 2 Allen keys. And I don't know the size offhand, so I'm gonna play around until I find the right one, which that's not it. I'm guessing it's this one. That's it. This is a 3/16. So this should allow you to remove the action from the stock, hopefully. Man, they're snug down. And hopefully it's not just the bottom metal. Okay, so the bottom metal comes out separately. And does the action come out? Yes, I think it will. Lifts up on the front, and then out it comes. There you go. So we're going to take that stock and put it aside. We don't need it. All right, so here's the fun part. We have this nice trigger here, which is the factory one. This will need to be removed, and we're going to have to put in the Timney trigger. And I know I just mentioned that I'm not going to look at instructions, but I'm going to look at instructions for this because I don't want to break this and have things go flying everywhere. So we'll be right back, and I'll show you guys how to do this. All right, so first step of working on this trigger, I'm going to bring it closer to the camera so you guys can see. Let me grab my punch so I can show you. You're going to knock out, come on, get into focus. There's a pin here that I already started, and another pin right here. These 2 pins, they're roll pins, need to be knocked out sideways, and your whole trigger pack will come out. So put this back down and work on knocking those out. And I'm already bending this punch because it's crappy punches that I own. Let me find some punches that aren't garbage like this, and I'll get right back to you guys. All right, I found a better punch that hopefully won't break on me. So I have this. If you are going to do this, you probably want to get yourself a punch block where you can knock pins out. I don't have one, so I'm just using an AR-15 top block. I've already knocked, as you can see, I've already knocked that one out. So we're going to knock this back one out, and then the trigger should come right out. Hopefully, maybe not quite enough. Let's see. Oh, we're so close. You can see this one I drove into the table, but we're almost there. Let's see. What's our best bet? We'll do this instead. Come on. No, we're not gonna do that. This punch is too short. Yeah, the punch is just too short. Let's try this broken punch. This should be the right size. Here's 1 and 2. All right, so there's your trigger pack. As you can see, it comes out like that. And we're gonna need to transfer over some parts. So let's see if we can make sure this is in frame for you guys. Hold on one sec. There we go. So obviously the Timney is on the bottom of the new one. It looks like, from what I can tell, we're gonna need to transfer over the safety, and that might actually be it. So let me move some stuff. Let me move all this crap aside. We'll see what we gotta transfer. All right, so we got this figured out. So what's gonna need to be removed? Hopefully you guys are close enough to see this. On the back here is the safety button. Safety button has to come off. The safety button transfer bar here will have to come off. The spring mechanism for the safety and the spring will come out. And then on the other side, the first thing you need to look for is the little C-ring here and little clip-on ring. So I think that one of the better ways to do this is if you give a little bit of a push on down. So basically you're pushing against this part here. This will give this a little bit of a rise and allow you to get something like a pick. This is like a dental pick I got from Harbor Freight. Grab something like this underneath. You're gonna need to force it in and try not to stab yourself in the finger. Up. Almost there, I almost had it. So it's not gonna be super easy, so don't think it'll come right out. Take your time and you'll get it. So get the pick under. And remember, if we're scratching up this like stuff here, don't worry about it. It's going away. Underneath. And out the C-clamp comes. There you go, just like that. So we'll put that aside. On the other side, you're going to push that pin out. So this is a through pin. You can see that goes all the way through. So that will come out. Your spring will lift directly out of there. Under here, you can see there's a little bit, you can see this comes up. You're gonna need to kind of twist that out of the bottom of the safety, and then your safety will come out. So this is pretty much done. You can put this aside. Obviously keep it for parts if you need to, if something breaks, you can put this back in, but put it up in a bag somewhere and put it somewhere safe. So we're gonna do basically the opposite. Your safety will go in first, like that. And the little foot on the safety down here goes forward. So you can see it's kind of angled forward. So that'll go forward. Your bar, there's a straight end and more of a hooked end. The hooked end will go in the bottom and hook around like that, and then up. So you'll have this end here sticking straight up. You can see, let me turn it so you can see sideways, it sticks up like that. Next, you're gonna put in your spring, which, let's compare the hole because there's some more holes on this one. All right, so it looks like this here is the spring hole. So that's the hole for your spring. Next, you're gonna put your pin in. And as this goes through, you're gonna need to line up two holes. You can see here is your spring hole. That's where this leg of the spring is gonna have to go into. And then here is the hole for the transfer bar. So you're gonna have to do both of those at the same time. It wasn't that difficult when I tried this earlier, so I'm gonna make sure this is all in frame for you guys. In it goes, and then kind of give it some wobbles until you get the bottom in, like that. So now let's bring it up so you can see. Come on, focus, focus, focus. Come on. Has no interest in focusing on me today. So hopefully you guys can see that pin's in, that spring pin is in. Push down so it fully seats. We're gonna turn this over. Remember, same technique, give it kind of a downward force. Take your little clamp here and push it on. If you don't have the finger strength like me, a pair of needle nose pliers like this work really well. Grab the back end. Trying to do this on camera is always the hardest. So you're gonna grab between the 2 points, between like the pin and the clamp, squeeze, and there you go. Clipped in. Trigger is pretty much ready to go into the gun. So I'm gonna change camera angles and we're gonna put that in. All right, so we are ready to put our trigger back in. The trigger has been assembled with all the parts we need, so it's gonna go back in. Obviously, the back side goes towards the back, like this. It should fit right up in there. You see the two holes here? Bring it up a little closer. There's a hole there and a hole there. Those line up with the two pins that we knocked out earlier. So we're going to seat this in. This one pin is a little proud, which is why it doesn't want to go in. So we'll try to wiggle that pin out a little bit. There we go. Maybe that's enough? Yeah, see, that was enough. Goes in like that, and it should be pretty easy to tap your pins back in. We're gonna bring this back over so I'm not hitting on the wood like that. We'll tap these in. Which they're not. There we go. Gotta make sure your pinholes are aligned right. And then tap them in. If you have access to a brass hammer like this, I suggest using one. They're non-marring, so it makes it a little bit easier. Grab a roll pin punch to finish this out. So it's flush. Sorry, my hand's in the way, but I don't think you guys need to see me knocking pins in. It's not that exciting. There we go. Flush it up like that. There you go, you can see nice flush pins there and there. So your trigger is in. Next up, we're going to do our chassis in stock. All right, so first thing we're gonna do here, when you get your chassis, obviously chassis is up next. When you get this MDT chassis, it's going to come with a little bag of parts. You can see I have them sort of, I'm off camera. You can see I have them laid out here. This is what's gonna come in this little bag. These are your mounting blocks that will attach to the underside of the receiver. That's your rear bolt, and the short one is your front bolt. And then we're gonna deal with the mag catch afterwards. So I'm gonna get the chassis attached first, and then we're gonna work on the mag catch after. So the chassis itself is really straightforward. Basically, you can see when I set this up, it's got these two little notches, one there, one back here. Your V-blocks are gonna drop in, just like that, and the V-blocks look to be identical. From the bottom, you're gonna hold your V-blocks as you turn it sideways, put your bolts in. So from the bottom, that bolt first, that bolt next, and turn it right side up. Just make sure you hold those bolts because they're gonna wanna fall out. Like that. So you can see the V-blocks are in, the bolts are in. You're going to take your barrel to action, sit it down into the chassis, turn it upside down, and find the correct size Allen key. There we go. And you're just gonna snug it down. And the V-blocks, I think, are made of aluminum, so they're slightly malleable. Let me pull this back into frame so you can see. There's the other one back here. V-blocks are slightly malleable. So when you go like this, you see I'm torquing it down. It's going to have a tendency to sit down into that aluminum and kind of force its way in correctly. So it'll make a little channel for itself. Tighten it down. You want it good and snug. There we go. And your barrel action is now in this really dope receiver. And don't worry, I'm gonna pull back and do a full overshot when we're done. I'm just trying to give you guys the basics first. I'll show you everything. It's really cool up here too. I'll show you everything when we get done, don't worry. Next up, we're gonna work on setting up for the mag catch, which goes back here. Give me 1 second, I'll set up the shot. All right, so how we're gonna do this, it's gonna be a pain in the butt, so just prepare yourself for it. What they give you in this group here is a mag catch, so that's your latch for your magazine catch, a spring, 2 slave pins, which hopefully you guys can see, 2 slave pins, and your final pin. So this is the last pin to go in. So you're gonna take your shortest slave pin and put the spring, after you drop it everywhere, spring in like this. Sorry. So let's see, make sure you guys can see it while I do it. So you can see the ridges back here. That's going this direction. Your pin is gonna line up like, or I'm sorry, your spring will line up with like that. The 2 claws coming forward and the little diddly boop going forward as well. Put it in there. And you're gonna put your slave pin through the whole thing. So now that slave pin is holding that spring captive. Gonna put this, so as I turn it, you can see now the ridges where basically your thumb would be used to grab the mag catch. It's gonna go towards the back of the gun, and you're gonna compress these springs downwards. So as you go back, you kind of give it a push, and it'll compress in like that. So you're gonna take your master, your next slave pin, if you can, and try to force out the smaller one. Now this is gonna be super tough, especially on camera when I only have 2 hands. Okay, like that. And I dropped the other pin, which is fine. We don't need it. Make sure this is in all the way. There you go. So now you can see your mag catch is in and the spring has tension on it. Last part is you're gonna take your finished pin, this is the last pin, and we're going to basically remove that slave pin that's in there. So you're gonna take pressure off a little bit, push that full-size slave pin out, give this a good ram-a-jam. Come on, the spring has decided to move on me a little bit. So we'll push the slave pin back through if we can. Try to get this lined up correctly. Okay, so before we continue, we're gonna tap that pin, this larger pin back through, see if we can get this back in. The 2 pins have met in the middle. And I just pushed it back out. Let's try this again. There we go. Okay. So you can see the pin is back in. So we're gonna try to get this in real fast. A good hit or 2. Oh, of course this pin doesn't want to cooperate. So this is gonna be the pain point, it looks like, of this whole operation. You're gonna have to just struggle with it. Ooh, we lost our pin. And let's see where this one is. Okay, I can see the issue. Like that. Kind of wiggle it into place. Give it some taps, and eventually it will find its way in. So let's make this a little simpler. We're gonna grab another larger pin. Glock tools always work great for this. Kind of help force that where we need it. Ooh, we're almost there. Okay, so from here you can see this is off at a bit of an angle. I'm gonna push back on this side, which should line this pinhole up. Hopefully, like that. There we go. Take the tension off again, push this until it locks in place. And how do you know it locked in place? So the pin, you saw when I put that pin in, there was a middle ridge between the 2 high spots. the spring is gonna lock into that middle ridge, and now this pin is going nowhere. So you're good, you're done with that. That's in. All right, coming up second to last, we are going to put first our stock in and then our grip on. This stock is actually pretty neat. It comes with a bunch of adjustments, so a length of pull adjustment, a cheek adjuster, and a shoulder adjust. So you can move this, loosen that up and it goes up and down to adjust for your shoulder height. It also is on a regular AR-15 buffer tube. So if you want to put this into your like precision AR build, you should be able to do that no problem. Same goes for the chassis. The chassis runs a regular thread like an AR-15. So if you don't want to use this, you can use your regular AR buffers and stocks on this chassis. But since we got this really cool one, why don't we go ahead and use it? Gotta catch the thread. If we can do it, there we go. Oh, nope, not quite, not quite. Come on. It's always when you try to do it on camera, it's never possible. There we go. Tighten this down, and the chassis has a shoulder built in, machined in back here. So the stock will stop like that when it hits the shoulder. You're gonna rotate it back and tighten down this little Allen screw here. And this little Allen screw is going to tighten into the groove on the bottom of the buffer tube. Then from there, so now it's locked in, tighten down your castle nut, and grab your castle nut wrench. Tighten this down, like that, good enough. One thing to note is these castle nuts don't have any spot to stake on, for them to be staked on. You're not really gonna wanna peen metal over from this nice aluminum chassis. So if that's an issue for you, just know that it won't come with a spot to stake. Just know that that's a thing. Lastly, well, almost lastly, we're gonna put the grip on this gun. Sorry, my arm's in the way. Comes with a grip screw, so take that out. Go ahead and put that into your grip, off camera. Put your grip on like that, and go ahead and tighten it down like any other AR-15. Pretty simple. Hank did not provide me with a really fancy grip, so I'm giving him a A2 grip that I've had sitting around. So whenever he orders something different, we'll put that on. And second to last, well, actually no, now this is the final last thing. Let me move this and adjust the camera. Show you guys how you would do this. Ooh, I'm gonna move you guys in a little bit. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Everybody, hold your breath. All right, give you adjustments. So, one thing I noticed is with the cheek riser on, you won't be able to get your bolt in. It doesn't want to seat in there correctly. So, which could be a problem for some people, especially if you want to clean your gun out. So there are two screws on the top of the cheek riser here and here. Take these out. The plastic cheek riser will come off. Take your bolt. Bolt will now fit in fine and lock down. Take your cheek riser and put it back on. If you choose to clean your gun, like many of us do, especially for a precision gun like this, that's probably the best way to do it. Take the cheek riser off when you go to clean it. Take your bolt out, clean your gun, put the bolt back in, put the cheek riser back on. That's pretty much it for this gun. This Timney trigger is pretty awesome. There's no take up, no creep, no nothing. It just breaks. It's probably at its heaviest right now, which is about 4 pounds. But it can be lightened to 1.5 pounds. We would have to take, I believe we'll have to take all this back out to do that lightening. But hey, it's in, it's working, and it's beautiful. So, oh, so nice. Anyways, let me wrap up the video and send you guys on your way. And that's it, guys. Check it out. This gun, hopefully you guys can see the whole thing, is so sharp looking now. Amazing bolt. Really nice trigger. Oh, it's crisp. It's clean. And really cool thing with this new chassis, since it's got a whole new bottom metal and everything, is you can use the MDT 20 round magazine. So just like that, 20 rounds of 6.5 Creed. We will probably end up, I'll do it off camera since you guys don't need to see it, but I'll end up putting the scope back on. Ugh. I'll put the scope back on it. I'll take a picture of it, show you guys what we got going on, and that's pretty much it. I hope you guys liked the video. If you want to see more content like this, give me a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. Let YouTube know that we're still welcome on the platform. You still want to see this sort of stuff. They're hating on us pretty hard, so tell them with a thumbs up that you want gun stuff. All right, catch you guys on the next one.